Hi, it's Kathy, dietitian from the Highland Primary Care Network, and just thought I would do a quick video here on goal setting. And if you spend any time with any of our health professionals, it's likely at some point we're going to do some goal setting with you. It's such a valuable tool in helping us. We find many patients, many people that we see get kind of stuck in the dreaded shoulds. So they're hitting themselves with the should stick. I should be exercising more. I should be eating better. And we just keep spinning our wheels and spinning our wheels. And we're just not really getting anywhere with the things we need to do. And goal setting can be a really powerful tool to help us move ahead, at least in a good direction. So it's like putting a little sand under tires and getting some traction. I find people are often reluctant to do any goal setting, and that can often be because it's sort of making making ourselves accountable to the things that we say we're going to do, and there's some inner resistance. So sometimes we've got to work through that. I do think sometimes it's a fake it till you make it kind of activity. So just the act of putting the words down on paper can be really powerful in getting you started and moving ahead. So yeah, I already said this. Goal setting is a great tool to keep you motivated and moving in a positive direction. Really, what's the first step is just looking at your own life and kind of evaluating things. You're the expert in you. Usually we have a pretty good idea of where we should make some health change. So just kind of looking at things overall, maybe picking one at the most two, but usually one is enough to work on. Health change is really, really, really hard. And I would say 99% of the time when people don't achieve a goal, it's because they made the goal too big. So better to make it smaller and achievable. And then once that goal becomes habit, you can start with something else. So yeah, just think about your life and maybe what would be one easy thing you could change, or what might be the biggest bang for your buck to change. Yeah, that would make a difference in what you're doing in your health behaviors. I like to encourage people to think about a just noticeable difference. So any small change that you can do over time, that'll add up to make a big, big difference, but just enough that it makes a difference to you. So an example of a just noticeable difference, if I know I always over portion potatoes, I just do 2 bites less. That's a just noticeable difference. And if I do that over time, it adds up. Okay, so I did want to talk to you specifically about SMART goals, and they use SMART goals in lots of different industries, so you may be familiar with them. Usually when people start to make goals, they say things like, I just should eat better, or I should be more active. And we find that when goals are really big like that, we actually don't adhere to them well at all. They're just very kind of pie in the sky and out there. So SMART goals is a reminder to be really specific about our goals. So SMART is just an acronym, and it stands for specific, measurable, achievable. The slide says rewarding, but I always say realistic. And the 5th one is time frame. So my own bias, I used a goal that comes up quite often for me as a dietitian, but you can use SMART goals for anything. So whether it's like you want to sleep better, you maybe want to turn the TV off 10-15 minutes before you go to bed, whether it's bringing more mindfulness into your life, maybe you want to do 1 to 3 minutes of just sitting quietly in the morning or before bed, or from anything from activity or self-care activities you want to do, or eating habits. So really, you can use a SMART goal for just about anything you can think of. In this case, I'm gonna play to my own bias here and do a fruit. So one example would be, I'm going to eat a fruit every day at breakfast for 3 days this week, starting on Monday. So there's a definite start point. There's also a definite end point. I will evaluate this goal in 3 weeks. That's the time frame piece. So it's measurable. I can measure whether I had 3 fruit or 1 fruit a day for 3 days. It's, to me, that might be a goal that's like, yeah, that's pretty easy. I can do that. I'm probably already doing that two days already. So 1 more day, that's no big deal. That's when I know a goal is good for somebody, when they say to me, yeah, it doesn't feel like I'm doing a whole lot. That's where we kind of want to be, is like, don't change much. 1 little change at a time is more than enough when it comes to health change. And it's realistic. That's what I mean. It's realistic. So yeah, so you want it to be pretty specific. So not just I'm going to eat more fruit, but 3 days this week at breakfast. Starting on Monday, you can, I'd even encourage you to be more specific instead of 3 days this week, because when we just say 3 days this week, it's always tomorrow, and tomorrow never comes. So maybe you say Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Those are going to be the days. Yeah, and then just make sure you set little reminders or things that will help, because our human nature is to slide back to our old habits. Yeah, and then break it down into any smaller things that you need. So when it comes to fruit, you might need to go shopping and buy some fruit. You might make sure, it might be helpful to make sure it's prepped in some way that's really easy for you to grab it. It just depends what your plan is and what the smaller steps might be for you. Yeah, and consider all the things you need to achieve your goals. So then that's the breaking it into smaller steps piece. Also consider, and we don't really like to do this, we don't like to think if things go wrong, what will I do? But troubleshooting in advance can be really powerful for keeping us on track. So what might get in the way of carrying out your actions? So in this case, what if you sleep in? Do you have a backup plan? Maybe you throw some fruit cups in the car or in your desk at work so you can grab your fruit when you get there. Think of just some strategies to overcome, because inevitably life's going to throw you curves. It's not always going to go along smoothly, as we all know. So trying to plan out for those things that don't go quite as planned. And then just to have a quick think about who or what else can support you in your efforts. Probably if we think about it for any length of time, we know the people that are going to help us along with this. And then the other people that, for lack of a better word, are kind of going to sabotage us and take us off track. So we can't always change the people that are closest to us, our friends or family, but maybe just having a response or something we're going to say, or how we'll not react to things that they bring forth. And then the people that are going to support us, we want to keep them really close, because health change is hard. Even small health change is hard. So if there's a friend that we can say, I'm working on this goal, and would you phone me and make sure that I'm on track? And maybe you can do the same for them, or a partner, or sometimes kids can be great at this because they don't let you off the hook. So yeah, just thinking about who else can support you in the goal. Yeah, so when you're thinking about your goals, just again, we tend to make them really big, but we want to make them really specific and small. If it feels like, oh, that doesn't feel like a lot at all, that's probably a sign you're on the right track. If you need help making a goal for yourself and just getting started, then I think the medical home is a pretty good place to do that. So just make an appointment with a nurse and social worker in your medical home. Medical home's a fancy word for doctor's office. And just give the doctor's office a call and they can set you up with an appointment. And then, yeah, any comments or questions you can share with them. We do have our website with our health improvement program, which has a lot of classes that might help you along in your health journey. So our website is www.hpcn.ca. So HPCN, like Highland Primary Care Network, hpcn.ca. And then under programs, you just look at the health improvement program, and then there's links to our YouTube channel, and there's schedule for classes, and the class PowerPoints and all the handouts are there. So hopefully some good resources for you. And we also have a Facebook page as well. So if you just type in Highland Primary Care into Facebook, you'll find our Facebook page. And if you like it, then I think all our updates and stuff like that will come down to you. And I think that's it for today. So just a little bit on goal setting that might be help you along in your healthcare journey. I sure hope so. Just that act of putting pen to paper can really help us get our own wisdom and get us going. So hope that's helpful for you. Take really good care and hope to talk to you soon.